This is a 93 regular cab step side, also like Dan's, and super clean truck. And this dude is slick. Interior's very nice on it. Got a little console in there, original seat. AC works. Got a LS1 in it out of a 2004 Corvette with it's got a cam, it's got a built transmission, it's got a 3200 converter, what the owner said. But he bought him some new wheels. Got some 26-inch Ruccis, and they stick out a little too far, so he wants to narrow the rear end up a little bit. Tire size, 275, 25, 26. I don't remember what was on the front. Let's go look right now before somebody asks me. I don't see it. Oh, also 275, 25, 26. We're not lowering this truck any more than what it is now. The front's going to be stock. The back is however it's lowered. It's got shackles, and I think it's missing a leaf spring. I drove it around the block earlier to make sure everything was good. Still rides good. Sounds good. So first things first, I'm going to jack this thing up, pull one of these wheels off, or both wheels off, do a little measuring, and figure out exactly how much I need to narrow the rear end and how much I can narrow the rear end, because it's still got leaf springs. So I'll kind of show y'all how I go about doing that, and we'll go from there. All right, got KK out here helping me. Got this wheel on. Driver's side actually sticks out a little farther than the passenger side, so we're going to do our measuring off it, because if this side will fit, that side will fit. We got level on the face of the wheel. It's pretty much almost exactly flush with the outside fender lip, but he wants it to tuck up in there so he can possibly get it lower one day. So we're going to go to the inside of the fender lip up here, factory lip, and it is 1 1/8 inches. Once you get inside of that, you got all the room in the world above it, all the way up to here, because there's no inner fender in there. Make sense? All right, so like I say, we got 1 1/8 inches there. Actually, it's about 1 3/16 inches. So, it's blurry. So I'm gonna probably narrow this about 1 3/4 inches, just to make sure that we got plenty of room. And if it is a little too sucked in, we can throw a 1/4 inch spacer on it. But in order to know if I can actually go 1 3/4 inches without hitting the leaf spring, we're fixing to pick it up and do a little measuring on the back side. So bear with me just a second. We'll pick this thing up. Pick it up, man. And we're gonna check it. You ready, boo? Alright, so I lied, come right here. If we bring this wheel in 1.5 inches, we will still have clearance, because we have 2 inches right there to the leaf spring. And this is the closest point to the tire on the back of the truck. So come right here. Ooh, you can't say that. So we got a good 2.5 inches right here that we can take out from the end of the axle and not mess with the leaf spring perch or the shock mount or any of that stuff. So we'll narrow it right in this area. That way we don't have to mess with this. If we were doing a 3-link or bagging it, we would probably I would probably take this out, so I wouldn't have to cut that off with a torch, being honest. At the rear of the leaf spring, we have about 3 inches to the tire, so which is crazy, because the leaf spring goes wider at the front than it does at the back. And up here, it looks like we have a good 3 inches or so up to the inner fender. So 1.5 inches should be good. Also, I could trim that and get more clearance, but if you notice, this bed tapers in right here. So I want to get that tire as far in as I can. And it looks like 1.5 inches is going to be the number. So, look at yourself. Also, another problem with this truck. I've done a truck for Charlie Cochran. Y'all been watching the channel for a long time. Y'all seen it. It was a flat black 88 to 98. We done 24x12 in the back. That truck was an 88. It was first year truck, and I ordered axles for it. And when they got here, you know, Moser was like, "Well, this is the axle that truck calls for." They sent me a 30 spline axle. With that being a first year truck, it was a 28 spline. So it kind of put me in a tight spot where either I was going to have to order axles or we were going to have to change center section or something. Charlie was cool. He had asked me about doing a gear change, so we ended up having the whole center section rebuilt with a 30 spline center section. I'm not going to make that mistake this time, so I'm fixing to pull this axle apart and check these, like physically check these axles and see if they're 30 spline or 28, because this is an early 90s truck, and I just want to make 100% sure so I don't end up in that situation again. So I'm gonna pull this wheel back off, pull the center cover off, drain the fluid, pull the C-clip, get the axle out, and just check it and make sure that it's a 30 spline. That way tomorrow is Monday, I can call and order the axles that I need. So they'll be on the way. I've got another truck to do tomorrow when I get home. So that gives me a couple days to get it out while I'm waiting on axles for this one. Yeah. You ready? Let's get dirty. Sure. Oh, that's tight. Note to self, it was already missing a bolt. I didn't leave that or lose it. Looks like it's been rubbing the exhaust over pretty good. See that? Alright, let me go put these down before I take that last one out. Let's go find a flathead and a hammer. Oh, fans didn't blow that everywhere. Alright, you ready? It smells so amazing. I hate the smell of girl.
Personal chocolate fountain.
It actually looks good though. But somebody may have been at it recently. Goop loose, and it has a locker in it. Very nice. All right. Don't need that. I didn't put it in neutral. That's lovely. Alright, come back momentarily. You ready? Alright, come right here. Filming?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I just want to kind of cover my bases on this. The center pin right here is supposed to be like really tight, press fit, kind of, not press fit, but like it's very tight to get in there. This one actually has a good bit of play on it. So I need to tell the customer about that. That means his spider gears has probably got some wear on them. So I just wanted to video that and document it. So, like I said, cover bases and let them know what nothing I've done. So. Alright, gotta pull the center pin out. Get this pin out of here. This is 8mm. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, me and KK done this on Nelson's truck. And when we pulled this bolt out, it was about, she ain't even listening. It was about 1/4 of an inch long because it was broke off in there. You remember that?
Yes, yes I do.
Oh joy.
Looks like that one is too.
Wow. That's not what I was expecting. Alright, so we may have more problems than we thought. Now I gotta try to get that out of there. I wonder if that's why I had a bunch of play in it.
Tell him, hey mate. Where's the girl?
Easy.
So I gotta figure out how to get that pin out of there. This may end up having to go have a rad rebuilt. I don't know if he's gonna want to do that. Alright, cut that off. Let me call this guy and let him know what's going on. Ideal way, but we sitting it on the end. We used a 4-pound and this little contraption here, which was a bolt, a pair of vice grips. Kept hitting it one way and then we spin it, hit it the other way until we sheared this off. Like I say, it ain't the best way to do that. But this center pin and that bolt is cheaper than an entire carrier. So, but you got to be careful because what I seen on YouTube, I ain't never had it happen to me, but they split the carrier there. So I was a little nervous on that one. And then the piece that was inside here, Pops just got it out with a magnet there. So we got everything out. Yeah. Now I got to pull this axle out and count some threads. All right, y'all. It's the next day. The little retaining bolt thing that we was fighting with last night, we got the smooth end out that's on up in there. But the last little bit, like where the threads are, there's still a little piece left in there that I can't get out. Me and my dad fought with it for like an hour and a half last night and never could get it. So don't worry, I'm like barely creeping down my road I live on. There's no traffic. But I'm headed over to Bubby's house. Y'all seen Bubby on the channel a bunch. And he actually has the extraction tool kit to get that out. But he lives about an hour away. So I'm fixing to blast over there, grab that, come back, see if I can. I'll show you how it works, but the screws in there, you got a real long drill bit, drill a hole, put an ease out in it, you get it out, hopefully. So we're about to run over and grab that from him, about to hit the highway, and when I get back, I'll show you how it works. Bubby saves the day again. He got my little tool in there, about to go back and, oh, and he gave me a safety jack because he told me I was going to kill myself on my lift. So, all right, we're about to go back to Bachelor. Why you live out here in the middle of nowhere, man?
I live way out here.
It is way out here.
If somebody's coming out here, they're actually coming to see me because I live at a dead end and I love it out here. It's very peaceful.
It is.
So.
And they just graded my road about 30 minutes ago. I would hate to see it on a bad day because it was pretty rough on a good day. Yeah. So, all right, I'll see you later. So, Mr. Ed at the parts store, he found what I needed. He found me a new center pin, new lock bolt, and then I went and got the lock bolt removal kit that Bubby has, and it is made by Skyway Tools. Let's see if I can get this thing rigged up and show you how it works. Alright, so this kit comes with a little plastic, it looks like an Allen head bolt, but it's got a hole through the center of it, and it threads in. It comes with two different ones. This one's a little longer than the other one. I don't know if they're the same thread or not. I didn't check, but and then it comes with this really long, I think it's like an 1/8" drill bit. See if I can get this over here and show y'all kind of how this goes. So I've got that screwed into there, and you get this drill bit to go in, and it lets you drill it without messing up the threads on the where the bolt actually goes in. So I'm gonna try to do this. I'm not gonna try to film it because I'm out here by myself and I don't want to mess nothing up. So I'll show you the aftermath in a second. And sometimes it's the smallest victories that mean the most. And I had to do all that just so I can now put the new pin and the new bolt in, just so I can sit on the ground and move it, so I can do that green truck over there. It's out. I'm gonna put this pin back in and this new bolt and get it where to roll and get this thing out of here. And when I come back in a minute, it'll be a few days later.
One eternity later.
All right, y'all, it's been a few days. Today is actually Saturday. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And they had the, I don't know, tribe annual, whatever they do for a year, every 3 months. Cruise in tonight in Waycross. Waycross Downtown Cruise. We always go to that, support our buddy Noel, puts that on. Noel and Jamie and Derek. And we just got back from that. I may have drunk a couple Red Bulls and listened to Limp Bizkit the whole way back to Baxley, and I ain't sleepy. I'm kind of pumped up. So when I got back, I had the axles. They delivered them today from Mosier, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this thing. My plan was I was planning on kind of maybe having an axle already narrowed, so when the new axle shafts got here, all I had to do was slam it back together. But today I ended up just cleaning vehicles all day. Washed pretty much the whole fleet except the dually and the red C10, so everything's clean. So like I say, wide awake. We can tear this axle out, and I'm not going to show y'all me tearing that out because it's boring. So once I get it out, get it on a stand, I'll come back. It's a little windy in here, I'm sorry. I got all the fans going. The mosquitoes is terrible tonight. I'm trying to keep them blowed off of me, but I got the rear end out. I went ahead and stripped it on the truck. I went ahead and pulled the axles out so that I could leave the brake shoes and backing plates on the truck. That way I didn't have to disconnect the parking brake cables. So all that's going to be put back like it was, so there's no point in pulling it off if I don't have to. I did take all the brake lines loose because I'm going to have to shorten those anyway. When only taking 1.5 inches out, I'll probably be able to just bend them and finesse them and make them work. I would rather use the factory ones. They got that shield stuff around it. They just hold up, you know, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the center section out. I always take the main caps loose. I got me a table here with a pad. I'm going to put the right ones on the right side, the left ones on the left side, my center section in the center, and any shims that come out of there are going to stay with their caps. I'm going to put this back together just like it came apart. That way there's no issues with it. It's already been backlashed and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to, like I say, tear it apart just the way it is, put it back together just the way it is. So I'm going to snatch this thing apart real quick and I'll show you in just a second. Alright, got this thing stripped down, got the ends marked out. They just got back into town from the cruise in. What time is it? 12:49 at night? Yeah. I don't know what happened with them. Her mascara is a little messed up.
Well.
Alright, I'm gonna get this thing chopped down. Both of their faces are red now. So I always come in and put a mark so I can line it back up so it's at the same angle. And like I say, I pulled all the center section out that's over on the table. And I'm about to get this cutoff wheel. I always cut this side first, that way when it falls. And then you got this sticking there that you can cut it. So if you cut this side first, then you're gonna have to try to jig this up in the vise or something and cut it. So think about that before you cut it. She didn't realize her mascara was so messed up. Common practice, every time I narrow a rear end, it is getting new wheel seals and bearings. This one already obviously had leaking wheel seals. There's covered in fluid and the bearings. Right now, while it's cut off, is the best time to get them off to me because I can chunk them up in the vise and I can get my flathead, my hammer, get this seal out, and then I flip it over and the bearing is just right there. And as weird as it may sound or look, I've got this old aluminum baseball bat I use to roll a lot of bedside fenders, and it fits perfectly up into a Chevrolet axle tube. So I can just put it on the ground. You can see right where I just did the other side. Knock that through there and it'll knock that bearing right out. Hang on just a second, I'll show you how it looks set up. Let me get this seal out first. All right, got the seal out. I just stick it on the ground. This baseball bat fits right in the end there. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to film it and hit it, but I'm gonna try. Hang on, let me set y'all up here. For whatever reason, that was really hard to film and do at the same time. But I got both bearings, both seals out. I got to bevel this edge, and then I've already got the other side done. Once I get this beveled and ground a little bit flatter, I'm gonna get my big rod and my pucks out so that I can get this thing squared up, start welding it. Miller Brothers is the one that makes the tool, the the rod and all to go in there to keep it, make sure it's square. It's got these pucks that go, they go where the main caps were. So you stick them in there, you tighten these main caps down. That keeps, if that rod goes all the way through, everything's square. So I got to put this one in. It goes on this side and tighten those bolts down, and I'll show you the next step with the other end. I got this rod in here. This rear end is about to the max length of this piece of rod. It's in the pucks, but it's not coming out each end. Most of the time when I do a rear end, it's hanging way out because we have to narrow them so much. But anyway, before I took this apart, I measured this tube from here to the backing plate, and it was 20 3/16. And I just measured it again. Hang on, get this out here to show y'all. All right, 20 3/16 minus a half inch, inch and a half is 18 11/16, which is dead on the money. There we go. Trying to get straight up and down. All right. You notice I got a little bit of a gap here. I beveled it, and that's just basically the thickness of the cutoff wheel. So it'll give me a nice little valley to put my weld in. I got to check this other side. I noticed there was a gap just a second ago, but I'm going to turn this and get this line back perfect. So I just want to show you all on video kind of how I do it. I'm about to roll the welder over here, put a few tacks on it, measure it 16 more times and make sure everything's good, and burn it in. So if you notice this axle's, it's a little off. These tubes could be bent just a hair. All the way to the truck on the rear, pulling a trailer over the years or whatever, could have that tube bent just a little bit. But I can assure you, that rod that goes through the middle of that is perfectly true. So I trust this rod better than just saying this axle housing straight after, you know, almost 30 years of use. Actually 31 years, because it's a 93 model truck. So anyway, just want to show you all that. They may not line up just perfect when you cut it, but that is true with that center section. I can assure you that. So I'm about to burn it in, and I'll show you all in just a minute. All right, got that thing burnt in, both sides. I'm in a nice hot pass. I'm gonna let it sit here and completely cool overnight. I can't go any farther with it now anyway because I don't have bearings and seals. I'm gonna pick those up tomorrow, but it's welded. I may end up coming back and doing another couple passes around it. I don't know yet. I usually just weld one and call it done. I hadn't really had no trouble with it. So all right, I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. We get some bearings and seals, get that stuff reassembled, get this thing back in the truck, and get this thing out of here. On to the next one. Got this axle tube cleaned out real good. I just used brake parts cleaner, spray it in the tubes, wash it all to the center, both sides, and put me a catch bucket under it. And then I like to stand it up because you got this pocket up here that goes up to the pinion bearing. We want to wash that out real good, make sure there ain't no debris in there. Got it all sprayed out, wiped down, and about to start putting this thing back together. So I'm gonna put this center section back in just like it came out, with the shims on each side, and torque these main caps and get it ready to go back in the truck. I got new bearings and seals. I already stuck this one in. Figured I better record it. So the only brand they had in stock at the parts store this morning was Master Pro. So I got a 513 067, and for the seal we got the Precision 4762N. And like I said, I already got that one in. About to tap this seal in and then do the other side, and this thing will be ready to hang back under the truck. Well, I'll take that back. I'm gonna paint the ends right here first. I got some I just grabbed some spray paint while I was at the parts store this morning. I was out, so I'm gonna just spray paint those, and then once I get it in the truck, I'll put the axles in, the C-clips, and then I can put the rear cover on and put the fluid in, and the brakes back on. So, and I also got the differential gasket right there. Put it on with a little bit of Permatex, make sure it seals up good, so we won't have no leaks. All right, got this thing hung back under here. Got the brakes hooked up. Well, not hooked up, but the backing plates are back on. The shocks are hooked up. All the U-bolts are tight. And now I'm fixing to slide these axles in, make sure they're right. All right, we got our axles in. Well, you put the factory brake lines back on. I had to just bend them a little bit tighter there, but they went right back on, no problem. both sides. And they've got this guard around them, so if they were to be touching something, it's not going to run through the brake line like one of those cheap aftermarket or ones from the parts store. Got everything bolted up here. Got our C-clips in. We've got our new pin and our lock pin, 8mm lock pin. We got that in. Like I said, differentials we cleaned all that out before we put it on. We got all our brake lines on. I'm about to crack these bleeder screws loose and let it start gravity feeding a little bit. I put a pair of vice grips that are taped up on the rubber line yesterday, and that just keeps it from just dumping all the fluid out. Knock on wood, I've heard that you're not supposed to do that, and then some people say it's fine. I've never had any trouble doing it like that, but they say it'll make you could possibly collapse the line and it will extend back. But this truck's had brake lines put on it sometimes, because that's not the factory line anymore. So maybe we're good. If not, I'll go buy a brake line. But I'm gonna stick these little Moser axle stickers on here, put my shoes on, and get ready to put this rear cover on. I've got the paper gasket, like I said, and then I've got the some Permatex I'm gonna put around lightly just to make sure it seals. We'll put it on both sides and we're ready to roll. All right, we got a real thin layer of Permatex on there. Basically, it's just gonna hold this gasket on, and then I'm gonna put another real thin layer on the cover to cut this side and tighten all the bolts down. It's just the way I do it. You may not do it the same way. So, like I said before in videos, there's a million ways to skin a cat. This is the way I do it. So, all right, let me show you all this. So, I got it all together. As you can tell right here, the axle looks like it's too short. Can't get the drum to go all the way in like it's supposed to. If you do this yourself and you get to this point, you're like, oh my God, I have screwed up. But you really didn't. So, these new wheel studs have got a shank on them. The factory hole in this is like a 9/16 and it needs to be a 5/8. So just take the old ream them out a little bit where they fit, and it slides right on in. So if you do this yourself, just be aware that Moser's wheel studs has got a shank on it. I don't think the factory ones had one. Hold on, let's look and see. They did not. So just remember that. You didn't screw up. All you got to do is take the ream them out. It's just a little bit bigger, slide them on. Well, got to bleed some brakes, had to call in some backup. Got him way up in there. Probably just leave him up there for a little while. But we only got to bleed the back because I ain't take the front loose. So we're going to get these blades real quick, put the wheels on. It's almost time for a test drive. Oh, I got to cut his exhaust pipe tips off too. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, well, he wants them right here at the edge of the bed. What he said. Alright, I'll let you down in a minute. I want to show y'all how much room we had here after we got everything narrowed. It's kind of tight at the front, but I can get my finger between it. Both sides, same way. And we're going to let this thing down and check this overall fitment real quick. Alright, come on with it, Dan. Beautiful. Yeah, when you touch the gas on that one, you better be ready to go. And yes, we know it doesn't have center caps on it. We know the owner didn't bring those when he dropped the truck off. We're sorry, it doesn't have center caps. It's gonna have center caps on it when it goes home. So just so y'all know, before y'all start in the comments, it's got center caps. He just didn't bring them with the truck. So sorry.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like whoa, oh, oh, oh. Lit check, been a minute, let me hit the homies in the group.
And I crack it up, ready to go, and shut the door, and he locked the door. Now we're locked out with it sitting in the middle of the field. Guess we'll walk to the house and Get the Jimmy tool. Hey, Savior Dan. I'm glad the back glass wasn't latched.